in what we call our Founder Series and bring in entrepreneurs that are actively working on startups in the region and have been active in the startup ecosystem. And we have one today. We're pleased to have Matt Kulig, who's going to talk to us about his entrepreneurial journey. He is currently with Aisle 411. Many of you may have heard of them here in the region. They are a growing and scaling company here in St. Louis. He's also the president of Missouri Venture Forum, one of the really the first organization that really focused on entrepreneurial development here in St. Louis, and has been going strong for a long time now. And apparently, as an entrepreneurs want to do, Matt doesn't say no very often, and he is now president of the chapter of the VR/AR Association here in St. Louis. They've had some meetings actually here at Venture Cafe. On a personal note, Matt and I go way back. Before we called this an ecosystem, we were working together on some startup activity. So Matt was founder of a company that was an anchor tenant of the Technology Entrepreneur Center, which I helped found with Jim Bersunas back in 2004. And let's do the ecosystem bingo. So Matt was there with that company.
I was the first tenant.
You were the first tenant. That was an excellent pullout from WashU, an interesting entrepreneurial story in its own right. The building where the incubator was located, it was 210 North Tucker. The owner of that building was Bob Guller, the founding board member and the current chair of Arch Grants. And Technology Entrepreneur Center is the legal entity that now operates and runs T-Rex, which is now downtown. So
right.
If you're scoring at home, you should have ecosystem bingo somewhere, because I name dropped enough and all of that. But Matt the point is, he's been involved in this for a long time. There's other people in the room here I know that remember the good old days. And doing it right here in St. Louis, it presents its own challenges, but the entrepreneurs like Matt that have been around for a while have a certain pride about growing a business here, and when they exit, they're going to give back and make sure that St. Louis continues to grow in this scene. So I think you'll enjoy the conversation. He's going to do a brief presentation. There'll be some Q&A after. So thanks for all being here, and I'll take it over to Matt.
All right, so Francis is right. I do love pain. So I've been in 9 startups. My first one was in college, and that actually I exited. And so what happens when you exit is you go, I can do this over and over and over. But then they don't all exit. So just some background, bio on me. That's me. So currently, I am the co-founder and chief revenue officer of Aisle 411. And I'll go into what Aisle 411 does in just a little bit. I'm also the president of the Missouri Venture Forum. So the Missouri Venture Forum was started in 1984 in St. Louis. It is the only organization, nonprofit in Missouri, that has been focused on supporting entrepreneurs up until about 2006, and then the ecosystem exploded. But really, all the groundwork and the foundation for what is now everything you see in St. Louis came out of Missouri Venture Forum, and I've been a member on and off since 2001, and I'm a big believer of it, which is why I'm now president. And if you are interested in learning more, I invite you to, because it really is, it's a volunteer organization, and it is a membership organization. You have to pay to attend our events, but you'll see things there that you won't see anywhere else in St. Louis. So. I'm also the chapter president of the VR/AR Association that literally happened today. So what VR/AR is it's virtual reality and augmented reality. So if you know anything about that industry, it is probably the most exciting thing happening on the planet, and it's going to explode and change everyone's lives. And for those who are immersed in it, the energy level is unbelievable. And there's so much money being thrown at this industry right now. So I'm honored to be chapter president. I am a serial entrepreneur, good and bad. Been in 9 startups. I have 2 currently running, and I'm involved in one. The other one, I'm letting the founder run it. And it's hard because you get involved in startups, and sometimes you just have to step away. And I did, just because I found myself screaming and yelling when I shouldn't. Look, being an entrepreneur is the hardest thing in the world, and when you have advisors, you don't need your advisors telling you, what to do. You need your advisors to be supporting you. So And that wasn't because of anything he was doing wrong, it was because I was having issues on my other companies, and that was impacting my, dealing with him. So my expertise is in financial modeling and sales, operations, organizational growth. And it's really what I focus in on, and I've become very good at. I am a CFO, COO, CRO, and also CTO, which stands for Chief Trash Officer. So I take the trash out, right? I clean the refrigerator. I make sure the desks are clean. If I have a client come into the office, I vacuum, right? So look, as an entrepreneur, you do it all. And if you're not willing to do it all, you probably shouldn't be an entrepreneur. I'm just telling you, I've been doing it for 27 years. And then I'm an old guy. So I've been doing this a long time, but I'm not jaded. And people get jaded as entrepreneurs if they have failures, and you can't. I've had failures, and I'm still not jaded. I'm still excited. I love what I do, and I love people, and I love working with smart people, and I love working with new ideas. So, old or young, it doesn't matter. When you become an entrepreneur, when you feel that surge, it stays with you your entire life up until the day you die. So aisle 411, why am I doing this? I was literally starting a different company with a couple engineers from WashU, and the founder called me the week of Christmas in 2007. He goes, I have an idea for a company, I hear you start companies, and I'd love to. It's a mutual friend who put us together. He goes, our mutual friend put us together, would you meet with me and hear my idea? And I said, yeah, I love hearing about ideas. You want me to sign an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement? And he said, what's an NDA? And I went, oh my God, this guy knows nothing, right? And we've all been there. So I said, look, I'll bring an NDA and we'll sign it at the breakfast. So I had breakfast with him the first week of 2008, and his idea is very simple. What if you could just pull out your mobile phone and go, where do I find Bauer hockey skates? And the phone goes, Bauer hockey skates can be found at these 4 locations near you in aisles 12, 11, 10. And you just go, oh my God, right? Take retail data and make it available for consumers to find what they're looking for, and make it easy for them to find it. So that was 2008, and that's what we set out to do. So aisle 411 has grown. We're now in over 14,000 locations. We've mapped the stores. We know where all the products are inside those stores. So 3.7 million UPCs, 18.9 million sub-aisle locations, right? In 5 countries around the world. This is crazy. And it's just beginning. This is literally a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. We have 16 key accounts with customers in 5 countries. We're headquartered here in St. Louis. The founder's from Springfield, Missouri, but he's lived in St. Louis for the last 20 years. 16 employees. We've done more with 16 employees than companies with hundreds. We always innovate, and we've always innovated along the way. So we started in 2008, and we're still rocking and rolling, and 2017 is going to be the best year ever. So a snapshot, we're the leading indoor mapping and product location data platform enabling location experiences, solutions, and analytics for the physical indoor world. What a mouthful. Look, we just want to help you find products. And then we want to understand what you're looking for, record the data, and then aggregate that data and help brands and retailers understand why you shop in their stores. It's that simple, right? So we digitize the indoor world. We're the world's most used indoor mapping systems for retailers. And we've had to pivot. We went from building our own apps, I was just talking to Will here. We built our own app and we deployed it, and people still love it. It's a great app. But we went from doing that and trying to get consumers to understand and find that app to just embedding our technology inside retailers' apps. And that's more profitable. And so that's the route we've taken. So we are creating what we call the Internet of Stores. If you think about Amazon and why Amazon's successful is, look, I know what you're looking at, what web page you're on, I know what you search for, I know what's on your shopping list, I know what's in your cart, I know whether you bought the items or didn't buy the items. All those analytics around shopping on the web, think about what happens when you walk in the door in the store. Retailers have no idea what you're looking at, they don't know what's in your shopping cart until you buy it. It's the only data they have is what you actually bought. So they don't know if you put 30 things in your cart and returned 29 and only ended up buying 1 thing. That's changing, and it's changing now in a variety of ways. So we call it the Internet of Stores. So the vision of the company is, look, We want to build a smarter indoor world, right? And just everything, from office buildings to airports to malls to warehouse manufacturing and logistics, you know, those giant centers on the edge of every metropolis. The indoor world needs to be as smart as the outdoor world. I can Google map and see myself moving down the street, and it's phenomenal, right? I mean, you know, Google literally, I was driving from Bentonville to St. Louis, and Google rerouted me around traffic, and because of Waze, it knew in real time that there was things in my way, and it told me how to go around those things. And it literally, like within seconds of them happening. That's the world we live in. Data is moving so fast, and the way data is collected and presented is moving so fast. And we can make smarter, better indoor worlds. So our mission, we said this from the very, first week we started the company. We want to help anyone find anything indoors, in any language, anywhere in the world. And the example I give is, if I go to Tokyo and I need a toothbrush, I can't read Japanese, I can't speak Japanese, I don't even know what the package looks like, and so I might buy a shoe brush because I think it looks like a toothbrush. And so if I can go, I need a toothbrush, and it converts it and shows me what the packaging looks like in Japan, that's what needs to happen. That's the smarter world we want to build. So how do we do it? It's by organizing the indoor world data. And that's what we set out to do. So use cases. Look, we ingest data for retailers, and we'll build maps. We're not a mapping company, but maps is a great way to visualize where products are and help you understand. Right? So if you're the blue little arrow, you know that the 3 products you're looking for are in those aisles, right? So that's what we're building for retailers and other businesses around the world right now. And why do we do it? Well, it saves time, increases loyalty, increases basket size. Plus, if I know you're standing there, I can engage with you in new and innovative ways. And that's really what the brands want to do. So here's our client list. It's pretty significant, and it didn't happen overnight. You know, Walgreens took us about 2 years. Dick's took us about 4 years. Some have happened fairly fast. But we also, so San Jose International Airport, we did augmented reality in there. My Chemist is in, they're the Walgreens of Australia. They're the biggest pharmacy in Australia, so we're working with them now. Oswalk is in Dubai, in the Middle East. We're working with them. And then we've worked with a variety of brands, but the current brand we're working with is Mondelez. And it's all about understanding what's happening inside the store. So, more importantly, we're partners with all these companies you see down here, and it's not because we went to those companies and said, hey, we want to work with you. It's because those companies called us and said, hey, we want to work with you. And so, it's a pretty interesting dynamic we're starting to see, the shift in the marketplace. So we spent 8 years, soon to be 9 years, building our reputation. And because of the reputation we have out there, both in the US and internationally. Go ahead, Dave.
So you recently, or your CEO recently started the AR/VR Association. It's got the 20 South Sarah Street as the headquarters of it. Of these key accounts and partnerships, which of those are a part of that?
Well, Google is the main one. So Google and Tango, that's augmented reality. Now, Philips and GE, all the lighting companies, Acuity, they play a role in that. And then if you look at Hitachi, Accenture, Lenovo, Ericsson, NEC, they all want to leverage it. And then I'm telling you right now, so this is the new Lenovo phone. You can buy this today, it's $500, it's cheaper than an iPhone 6 or 7. This phone has what's called computer vision on it. I literally can take this phone and I can drop little digital assets throughout places like this right now. And if you have a phone like this, I can leave a little trail, cookie crumb trail, or an Easter egg trail. And you can see the digital assets that I leave for you. So if you think about Pokemon Go, oh my God, Pokemon Go is going to be on steroids. It's going to be crazy. In a couple years, this stuff's going to be built in every phone. The next phone you have, Android or iPhone, is going to have AR built into it, and it's going to change the world. And I'll get more into AR in a little bit. So here's the cool thing that happened. I'm this little company and just look at the center list. Let me just tell you, it's the who doesn't belong on this list. Google is number 1, multi-billion-dollar company. Aisle 411's number 2. Well, I'm not going to say how much revenue, but it's not anywhere near $1 billion yet. Apple, Zebra, Facebook. They're all billion-dollar companies and we're not. And why is that? Well, part of it is, look, we were a little early to the marketplace, and I understand that now. But the cool thing is I'm a partner with Google, Apple, and Zebra, and we've talked to Facebook. And they're all very fascinated by what we do and what this does for what they do. And so, you know, every startup wants to get acquired. What's the opportunity here? Well, the other 4 out of the top 40 companies that you see in this block over here, any one of them can acquire us because we're more strategic to them than they are to us. I've gone head-to-head with Google, Apple, Zebra, and Facebook inside accounts, and I've won accounts over those companies because I do things a little differently. My approach is different, and you know, I'm not trying to control everything like these guys want to control, which is why they lose and why we win. So if you look at our products, it's indoor mapping, indoor positioning, indoor analytics, and augmented reality. And this is all about. So when we started the company, it was all about helping people find products, which led to us doing indoor maps because maps is the best way to show where products are. That led to, well, if I know where the product is, can I also show where the person is and then help them go from the front door to the product? And that's indoor positioning. Indoor analytics is, now that I know what they're looking for and I've served up a map or a shopping list, and I know where they're at, can I gather all the analytics and serve that back to the brands and the retailers? Yes, I can. And then can I take the first 3 things here and then can I leverage that data and actually do augmented reality so that I can drop digital assets inside the cookie aisle so that the Keebler elf is standing there going, buy Keebler cookies, right? And your kids are like, Mommy, Daddy, buy Keebler cookies, you know, I want these Keebler cookies. And that's the world that's coming, it's right around the corner. And I'm not talking a year away, it's literally like, before the end of this year, you're gonna see some huge announcements. It's coming and it's gonna come fast. So AR technology, AR technology is really interesting. So I was just at a conference today giving demos. And if anyone wants to see a demo, I'll show you. I literally can drop digital assets inside retail stores. I can route you with a floating arrow. So one of the projects we're working on with Google is you walk into the store and you say, I need toothpicks. And then like a virtual character, it could be Stewie from the Family Guy or Homer Simpson, you know. He meets you on your phone and then he literally goes, hey, come, follow me. And as you're walking with your phone, he leads you down the aisles to the product, right? Think about that. And so everything, I have a recipe. I want to cook this for dinner. Literally, you know, Julia Childs, a virtual version of Julia Childs, could walk you through the store and take you to all the items you need to make that recipe. That's what's coming, and it's pretty cool. So we're building a lot of applications on the platform. We're leveraging the data, and you're going to see some pretty cool announcements this year. So, you know, we are a Google partner. We're very proud to say that. It's not easy to crack the Google, you know, corporate culture, but we're in there. And they do like us a lot, and that's exciting for us. We do have IP and trade secrets and defensible technology. We've actually just had a patent issued. You can look it up, but I will tell you what it's about in just a minute. It's pretty cool. But most importantly, look, the world's changing and we're kind of in the background right now, but we will soon be in the foreground. So the other thing we did, Will, is this is the new app called Shops. So you can go and download this app. It's just a proof of concept. We literally crowdsourced 250,000 stores around the United States. The concept is pretty simple. I just want to be able to go, where do I find mulch? Show me the 25 stores closest to me, based upon where I'm standing, 25 closest stores that carry mulch, and then just, you know, show them, and then I can click on them, and then show me where mulch is inside that store. That's what we're working on, and that's what this app does. So we've been showing it the brands, a variety of brands, and now the brands are starting to wake up and go, oh my God, are you kidding me? I do think you're going to see something like this fully funded probably this year. If not, definitely by 2018. There's a lot of conversations around this happening right now from brands that you guys probably are well aware of. And connecting people to the product in new and innovative ways. I hate to say it, and I say this all the time to retailers, no one cares about your stores. We only shop in your stores because you carry the products I care about, right? So I'll go to Schnucks because you carry the items I buy. I'll go to Dierbergs because you carry the products I buy. It's not necessarily about price, though price is always important. It's about the products you carry. So brands want to connect with you. They don't want to connect with the retailer. The consumer doesn't care about the retailer. The retailer is nothing more than a distribution channel. The psychology of that is huge. So Walmart, if you just saw this week, announced that if you buy something online and you go pick it up at a store, they'll discount it for you. Because they want to drive traffic to the store. Their hope is you'll go to the store and you'll pick up the item and then you'll spend another 10 minutes buying more junk in Walmart, right? And that's what it's about. The challenge for retailers today is how do I get people to go to my stores? We don't care about the brand, we care about the products. So you got to do something else for us. Discount, convenience, customer service, that's what matters. And with those things, right, that's what will get any shopper to come to that store. And that's what's important. So I don't know if I have any retailers in the audience, and I don't mean to insult you if you are in the audience, but the world is changing. There's a company called Instacart. What they do is they go and they do order fulfillment. Every week I can have my grocery list, have it ready to go. They'll go shop Schnucks, Dierbergs, and Walgreens and find all the products that are on your list if it's not carried by one store. They'll put it in boxes and they'll deliver it to your house. They do the shopping for you. You pay a convenience fee, but every week think about that. If I didn't have to go spend 90 minutes inside Dierbergs looking for my basket of food and menus and, you know, all my personal items, oh my God, I would, as a guy, I'm really happy. I know women like to shop, but man, still, that's a lot of time to spend anywhere. So the world is changing, and that's shops is about, I just want to connect brands to people, and I want to connect stores to people to know that you're the closest store and get them to those stores. So intellectual property. It's always important, you hear people talk about it all the time. So in 2008 we filed a patent which got denied, but the interesting thing is the baseline of that patent was using a phone to go to, using voice, I want a toothbrush, and the phone searching a database, finding that item, and then telling you where it's located inside of a store. So we filed that patent as a continuation in part, and it actually just issued. So think about Siri, Google, Alexa, all the voice technology. We're not far away from keyboards being irrelevant because we're going to talk to our phones, and we're going to talk to our cars, and we're going to go, Alexa, Siri, Google, where do I find a toothbrush? That's my IP, our company's IP, our investors' IP. It's huge, just issued. We're sending letters out to everyone. Walmart knows about it, Walgreens knows about it. This is a game changer for the company, and we're excited. I mean, you know, look, if you have good IP, and if you're fortunate enough to get it issued, and you look, there's going to be challenges, I know that, but it's, you know, we fought long and hard to get it, and now it's issued, so I'm very proud of that. And it is public knowledge.
Congratulations.
And anyone who does IP work knows, I think he's our IP guy in here. Anyway, it's, IP is so hard. So then, go ahead, question?
Have you looked at other applications like these, like missing children, you know, to in some way be able to show a route? Put something in the kit.
Yeah, there's beacon companies who have built little pieces of material that you can put like in kids' clothing to track kids. There's a big effort to do that sort of thing. But we're not doing it. We're not focused on that.
Same for the senior community.
Yeah.
I've fallen, I can't get up, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
where are you? Just show the green path, follow the yellow brick road.
Right. No. Look, our technology and our partners' technologies, when combined with what we do, think about nursing homes, with especially
Yeah,
seniors.
exactly.
So you have a lot of people that are out of, they just don't even know where they're at.
Right.
So you put something, you build it into their material so that you can track them. It's huge. And though we live in a scary world, we're tracking kind of scary, but it's not, because there's actually benefits. Asset tracking and people tracking, especially people that have dementia,
Yeah.
it's a huge benefit, right? So, and you wouldn't believe, we have talked to hospitals, you would not believe how many wheelchairs are stolen from hospitals every day. Why are people stealing
Try to find
wheelchairs?
them. Yeah.
Right? who's stealing wheelchairs? But it happens.
Races.
I know, it's crazy.
There's no
Shopping
other
carts,
ways.
people steal shopping carts from grocery stores. I don't get it. Like, who's taking home shopping carts? Anyway, I don't want to get too far down that road. So, I am the president of the Missouri Venture Forum. There's some members in this room, and ex-members in this room. Dave. If you're not aware of Missouri Venture Forum, I do invite you to please learn about us. Come to a breakfast. So we do 10 breakfasts a year. We have speakers that actually are from the entrepreneurial community. And they talk about their stories, good and bad. What's it like to either start a company, support a company, fund a company, right? And either watch that company succeed or fail. And it's great stories. And then we allow 2 startups. So if there's any entrepreneurs in the room, you literally can come and pitch at this breakfast. We have 2 tables that we allow the entrepreneurs to display their products, and then they can sit there and they do a 2-minute elevator pitch. And in one of my other startups, true story, I went there, first time I pitched, I couldn't even get through the 2-minute pitch. I sucked. Public speaking, I was not good at it. And I felt awful, but it taught me something to go back and try again, and literally that second pitch, from that pitch, I met enough people who were intrigued by my idea that I raised $700,000 from that. So it's a really, you don't know who's in the room, you don't know the serendipity of what's happening in the room. So anyone who's an entrepreneur, I invite you to come and be a part of MB Up and pitch your idea, because you may meet someone who can help fund your company.
And I would say on May 3rd, I believe it is, at the Danforth Plant Life Science Center, we have an event where we have 3 venture capitalists, the
It's a
managing
power
director
pitch.
of Ascension Ventures, managing director, I think, of Lewis and Clark Ventures.
Yes.
And a Flyover Capital out of Kansas City.
Well, Cultivation's going to bring a guy too. So we'll have
Oh, okay.
4 VCs, 2 companies in biotech that are going to pitch, and you can sit down and in 2 hours watch them get their lunch.
Sterling Labs.
Just, yeah. So I mean, look, pitching to VCs, I've done it so many times. I've never raised a dime from a VC until recently. It's hard, and they're not nice people. You hear them called vulture capitalists, they are the epitome of vulture capitalists. They find every reason, they're like a good CFO. They find every reason not to spend money, right, or invest in your company. So, there's always hype. Oh, look, the VCs, this company, that company raised 50 million, 100 million. I can guarantee it's because they know someone who knows someone who's on the board at the VC. I mean, it's all incestuous. That's my opinion. I am jaded when it comes to raising money with VCs.
Who's the leader in those 2, VR and AR?
So the leader was started by Nathan Pettyjohn, who's my co-founder at IL 411. So,
I don't mean, well, that.
and I'm the chapter president as of today. So,
Just sort of.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
I believe it.
86 for.
so if you're looking for a leader, I'm kind of the St. Louis leader,
Okay.
right? So take me to your leader.
I was also interested in what vendor today is, in your mind, the best in augmented reality.
Samsung's taken a really aggressive role, but I'm telling you right now, Apple, it's coming in June, that's all I can tell you. And the world's going to change in June. And it's going to change because of Apple, just like it always seems to. But Google's very, I mean, they're playing a lot in this space. And so we know, I can't tell you a lot, but we know a lot about what's happening in this industry, both in the big boys, but also the startups that are, flying undercover right now. Because they're all members of VRAR. We've done a good job. We have 30 chapters around the world. We're a global organization. It's amazing how fast this industry is moving, and the reason that the founder of Aisle 411 started VR/AR is he couldn't find any information anywhere, and we were in a Google meeting, and we said, does anything exist? And Google said no, and he goes, if I start it, will you be a sponsor? And Google said yes. And so he started it, right? And that's what happens. Sometimes you just got to look at the market opportunity and just take the bull by the horn and run. And so I'm proud to be the chapter president. Someone asked me today, they're like, do you have a meetup ready? Can I come? And I'm like, wait, I haven't done anything. I was just appointed today. But that's an entrepreneur. Like, we say yes without really knowing what we're taking on. And I'm sure in 60 days I'll regret it. But right now I'm excited. So I am the president of MVF. We do have some other educational events that are coming up. So the Power Pitch is May 2nd or 3rd? May 3rd. Then we have the Roadmap to Entrepreneurship at the Danforth Center on June 12th. And that's a half-day event. We have 6 panels, and it's all about from idea to exit. And how do you get there? And literally we have a who's who of smart people from St. Louis who are on these panels. And you literally, if you take the time, you'll learn more in that half day than you can learn in a year sometimes. So, and we videotape, and we put the videos up online for you to watch later on if you can't attend. But you should really go. So the question I get asked all the time, as an entrepreneur, what have I learned? What's the most important thing? How do you start a company, right? So it's pretty simple. People matter. I mean, the people you work with, you gotta like them, you gotta trust them, you gotta believe in them, they gotta believe in you. It's really, people are the most important thing for successful companies. And I can't stress that enough. Networking matters. And I put that number 2 because it is important. You know, we're all here at this event tonight because we're hoping to network, and we're hoping to meet new people, and we're hoping to share ideas. And it's important. I mean, again, Missouri Venture Forum was started with the ideas of supporting entrepreneurships, but it's really about networking and connecting and helping entrepreneurs to make new connections to help them succeed. And it's a good thing. And that's really what, you know, I have to say, I've been in St. Louis since since 84. Since 84. Has it been that long? Wow. And I love St. Louis. St. Louis is a great town. And I go to other parts of the company and I talk about the ecosystem here in MVF, now VR/AR. And people are just amazed that our ecosystem is as strong as it is, and that MVF does what it does, and that, you know, it really is a great city, and there's great people here, and they do want to help. Serendipity happens. So you hear people say, oh, he's so lucky. My God, Mark Zuckerberg, luckiest man on the planet. No, Mark Zuckerberg, through serendipity of meeting the Voss brothers and a combination of other people he met, it was all happenstance. It all kind of happened, and Facebook evolved out of that. It wasn't luck. He worked. He made things happen. He networked. You know, and it's not luck. It's serendipity, and I firmly believe that. And I'm a big believer in that word. But do not wait for things to happen, right? Don't wait for serendipity. You got to make things happen. And so you got to go out there. You got to talk about your ideas. You got to make things go on. How am I doing on time, Melissa?
You're good. You have about 10 minutes.
Okay. It's all about selling. I don't care what you're doing at a startup. You're selling to your employees. You're selling to your investors. You're selling to your clients. You're selling to your wife and your kids, and you're constantly selling. And so if you are not good at selling, then find someone who is, because you got to sell. Selling is what drives innovation. You know, ideas are great, business models are great, but if you can't sell the ideas or the business models or the products, you don't have a business. So selling is important. Manage risk, do not fear it. I cannot stress that enough. People are scared of starting things, of leaving the company they work for. I don't want to lose my insurance. Oh my God, what if this goes down in 60 days? I've said that so many times in my career, and I've gone on to run companies for 10 years. 60 days happens over and over and over in startups. You're always running out of money, there's never enough resources, you never have the best people, you know, it's just the challenges of starting. But you're gonna have so much fun, and that's what this is about. Everything is negotiable, everything. From the lease you live in, from the length of the lease that you live in and work in, to every product you buy, everything's negotiable. The investment deal that you're going to make, figure out how to sweeten it so the guy who's saying no, when you call him back and you say, if I take a 10% coupon on that, would you do it? He goes, yes. You got to figure these things out. Everything's negotiable. Investment, contracts, pricing, it's all negotiable. Learn that and you'll be happy. The sooner you learn that, you'll be happy. Millions of ideas happen every day. I bet in this room you all have come up with the next big thing, the next pet rock. I'm going to make billions from it, right? But the problem is most of us, few of us, actually go, I'm going to start a company and do it. And that's an entrepreneur. He doesn't know what the outcome's going to be. He can succeed or fail, but you know, if you want to be an entrepreneur, take that idea and make it happen. Because look, chances are you can succeed. There's a better chance of you taking your idea and making a successful company than it is to win the lottery. That's the reality. So don't buy a lottery ticket, take that dollar and put it into your company. Have as much fun as you can. My God, I can't stress this enough. If you like to drink, go have a scotch after a good day. And then go have a double scotch after a bad one, right? If you don't like to drink and you like to eat some good chocolate when you have a good day. And eat more chocolate when you have a bad one. But have fun, because look, it's not always fun. I had a call from a big client just this week, and I literally thought, I'm going to lose this account. And my God, I got off the phone, I called my engineer, I ripped him a new one, and then he told me exactly what happened. I felt bad, I apologized to my engineer, I called the client back and I said, here's what happened. And he said, oh, okay. Right? You have days like that. You don't have control over those days, but you gotta, again, make things happen, understand the situation, manage them, and then, you know, deal with them. And then go back and have a scotch or a double scotch or a chocolate double chocolate. So here's the other piece of this. This is the entrepreneur's life. You have highs and you have lows, and you have highs and you have lows, and the cycle goes like this. And when you're a first-time entrepreneur, the highs and lows suck. Oh my God, the bad days are the worst days you've ever experienced, the good days are the best days that have ever happened. Where you want to get to is this. It's just little bumps. And you understand and you see them for what they are. So again, I've been in 9 companies. I live here. The worst days, I don't like the worst days. The best days, I accept them, but I don't get overly excited anymore. I'm just like, okay, because I know the worst day's coming again. And so it's that's where you kind of, it's what naturally evolves. You become that as opposed to that. And the extreme emotions that go with that become that. And it's important because once you get there, you can do anything as an entrepreneur. So I'm going to end with this last slide, Melissa.
We still have plenty of time.
I know, I'm going to open up for questions. So in 1988, I love music. I just got back into vinyl. Oh my God, I love music. Vinyl is like reawoken music in my life. Anyway, there was a band in 1988 called the Godfathers. And they released a song called Birth, School, Work, Death. And I was just like, oh my God, they've taken life and they've reduced it to 4 words. And it's brilliant because that's our line. If you look at your life, it's you're born, you go to school, you work, and you die. Not taking in love and marriage and kids and any of the things else. That really is the essential of what life is about. And I kind of went, you know, we live in this very accelerated, rapid world. Everything's fast, everything's condensed down. It's all about trying to simplify everything. This band did a great job of simplifying life and our existence on this planet, right? So I said, look, why don't I apply that to entrepreneurial journey, right? What is the entrepreneurial journey? And this literally is what it is. You have an idea. And you have to make that decision of, am I going to take that idea and actually try to do something with it, or am I too scared? Right? That's the first decision. Then you have to build a business model around that idea. It's a product, a service, doesn't matter. You got to build a business model. Once you have that model, you got to sell it. And so you got to sell it to investors, You gotta sell it to clients, you gotta sell it to employees, you gotta sell it to your wife and your kids. You're selling, selling, selling. And if it's a good idea and it's a good business model, you probably won't have much problem selling it. Most people are gonna get excited about it. Then you're gonna generate revenue from it. And if you do these 4 things, 2 things happen. One is death, right? And when I use death here, it's the death of the company, it's the death of investment, it's the death of the idea. Because you didn't succeed at the first 4 things. If you're successful, and you do succeed at the first 4 things, you're still gonna die. And that's the reality of life. And you can do multiple companies, but death is ultimately the outcome. And I don't mean to end on a negative note, but you need to realize we will die. And you don't have a lot of time on this mortal coil. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, then get out and make those 4 things happen and be successful at it. Have a lot of fun. Have a couple scotches if you like to drink. Eat some good chocolate if you don't. But this is what entrepreneurship is. It's condensing it down to the 4 things that matter. The outcome, well, I don't care if it's that song or entrepreneurial journey, we still end up in the same place. But it's, you know, it's an interesting thing. And so that's what I've learned as an entrepreneur. And because I can accept that in either way, that's why I'm an entrepreneur. I manage the risk. It doesn't scare me. Death doesn't scare me, failing doesn't scare me. It's about working, having fun, working with good people, smart people, going out and doing what I enjoy every day. And that's why, you know, Francis, I've known Francis forever, I've known Melissa forever. I mean, people that have known me a long time, I'm one of the old guys in St. Louis that have been doing startups forever. And so they asked me to speak at these sorts of things because I've succeeded and I've failed. But I don't give up. And that's really what it comes down to. So that's, you know, don't get hung up on death. Get hung up on life. And go out and live it and become an entrepreneur and have a ton of fun. Make things happen. Don't be scared. Manage the risk. That's my lesson. That's what I've learned. So I end there. I'm going to open it up to questions.
We have about 7 minutes. Questions for Matt?
Oh, I love when there's no questions. All right.
Well, I was going to say, there's no, can you just talk a little bit about the pivot from to where you're selling your technology into other people's after that process? Like, when did you decide, oh, this isn't working, or what made you think it wasn't working and you needed to sort of take a different approach?
So we built an app and we, launched it, and the cost of consumers finding out about the app, and we were only in like 5,000 stores. So you could use it in some stores and not others, and it just was a flop. And so the brands didn't want to pay us to advertise. And if you can't generate revenue, again, the idea is good, the model we thought was good, but we couldn't sell it. And so we had to pivot. And so the pivot was, well, then if we can't sell our technology, let's insert it in other people's applications and see if they want to buy it. And they did. And so that's what's changed. Other people will pay us for that technology.
What were some of the toughest decisions you faced?
Payroll every 2 weeks. Right? So, making sure my people get paid is the most important thing I do as an entrepreneur. I've never missed a payroll. You find ways to make money happen. You'll do silly deals sometimes, and when you look back, you go, I can't believe I did that deal. But you know what? Your employees were paid. You paid off the people that gave you the deal. And you walk away and you go, I hope I never have to do a deal like that again. But if I need to, I will, right? And that's really, payroll's probably the hardest. Every entrepreneur facing payroll is the hardest thing you deal with. It's the hardest decision you have to deal with there. And it comes, depending on your payroll, every 2 weeks, every week, whatever. You got to make sure that you don't want to lose your employees. That's hard. Go ahead. No.
How do you choose your dance partner going forward? Because it appears you have a viable product. You've got the big guys interested. So let's assume that you've got 3 or 4 suitors out there. I don't know what your end game is.
It's acquisition. I mean, I'll tell you, we want to get bought.
No, I'm sure it is that.
Right.
But do you care about how do you be involved, or do your officers care about how you're involved later?
No, the board, look, the board's role is to make sure our investors make money.
So who do you choose? Assume we got 3 of them.
It's going to be the one that rewards our investors and our management and our employees the best. I mean, that's really, it's going to be about money. It's about business.
It's money.
Yeah. And the thing is look, it happens all the time. Let's say we're fortunate enough to get bought by Google and they pay us some obscene amount of money. They may bring our company in and then just kill it.
Yep.
That idea may never even come to life under Google. They buy it because it's strategic on some level. My God, I've met so many entrepreneurs. They sold their company for $30 million and then their product and everything they built was gone in like 90 days because the CEO of the new company said, it's not a priority. Yeah. So it happens all the time. So again, you know, even though we'd like to believe we're the smartest squirrels on the planet with the best, you know, nut gatherer ever, the challenge, you know, the reality is there's a smarter squirrel and they may have a better nut gatherer and they buy your company because of whatever reasons and they just kill your nut gatherer because they got a better one, right? It's just, that's what happens.
You control the data when,
Yeah, data control is huge. I mean, look, we live in a world in which data is king. And so you got to try to control it as much as you can within reason. Look, we're using retailer data, so the retailers control it on some levels, we control it on others. And you know, you got to figure out where those lines are, where the fence is. And if you can make money for both parties, oh my God, everyone loves it, right? So if you can sell the data to third parties, then everyone's making the cash. It's huge.
So what is your revenue?
We do setup fees, recurring monthly or annual fees, and then we do analytics. And so we sell data. I mean, it's just like a lot of companies. But the retailers pay us, you know, to set up their stores. I need to know, you know, if you look at this picture, so let's just say this is a Schnucks. The Schnucks on average has about 60,000 products in their store. I need to know where all 60,000 products are, because if you go to Schnucks and you search for maraschino cherries, and I tell you it's in aisle 3, and it's not there, you're not going to be real happy with Schnucks. You don't care about aisle 4 with 1, but you're not happy with Schnucks. And so it's important to Schnucks, and important to us, that you have a good experience inside Schnucks, and you find maraschino cherries. Which, by the way, can anyone spell maraschino? Go ahead.
A lot of what you're saying in terms of general advice reminds me a lot of a book I'm halfway through now called Tools for Titans by Tim Ferriss. Are you familiar with that book?
No, I'm not. No, if it's Tim Ferriss from Crowded House, I think, is that Tim Ferriss? One of the Ferriss brothers is in the band Crowded House from Australia. Anyway.
No, he's not a band. He's
Okay.
an entrepreneur, one of the most successful early stage angel
Not familiar with the
investors.
book, no.
Got a podcast, but it's very interesting to see the parallels between what you're saying and what he says.
I'll probably go read it because then I can take some of his ideas and incorporate them into mine as well. I love stealing other people's good ideas. Go ahead.
What were some of the steps for you to take your idea from an idea to the model?
So I'm an MBA. I'm not a CPA, but I'm an MBA. And so the first thing I do with every startup I've been in is I model. And I just start modeling it. And that's really what my expertise is how are we going to monetize this? How can I sell it, right? And so building models is really key. I think it's more key than the product. I hate to say that, but I really think models are important. Because there's so many companies that come up with really innovative models. And Uber to me just blows me away. Because the taxing industry is just so ingrained in culture. The fact that Uber figured out how to subvert the taxing industry and come up with a model that allows other people to become taxi drivers, though they're not called taxi drivers, and they don't have to go through buying coins and dealing with the bureaucracy of the government. That's brilliant. That guy, oh my God, brilliant. Models matter.
So you're basically working out how the idea can be financially...
Right, how I can sell it, because it's, again, idea, model, sales, revenue. Those are the 4 steps. You got to figure those things out. I mean, it is critical. The startups I failed in, never figured those 4 steps out. It was all lofty, highfalutin ideas, but we couldn't figure out the model or how we were gonna sell it. Then, you know, and everyone thinks I'll make billions, but the reality is if you can't sell the first dollar, you're never gonna make more than zero,
So
right?
your model made the story so you could sell it.
Yeah.
And then
Because the model will make sense, because then, and the people you show the model to and verify it with, that'll allow you to build the sales story, and then you gotta go out and start selling the sales story. Because a good salesman, he doesn't care about the model, he just needs a good story, and why that product matters,
So that was prior to any revenue at all.
prior to any revenue. And the first dollar you make from any idea you have, frame it, please, because it's really important. I mean, that dollar, someone just took, it's your idea and someone just paid you for it, oh my God, that's huge. Celebrate that, go get a double
One last
scotch.
question back here. and then-
Go ahead.
Hi, I don't know how relevant this is, but I downloaded an app like this about a year ago,
Yeah,
and was totally frustrated because there was no Wi-Fi in the store to connect the app.
right, yeah, I know. There's lots of them out there. So there's lots of companies, we call the clown companies. They make a lot of promises, and they're in our industry. They go, oh, we can do this and this and this, and I'll tell you a true story, and then I'll wrap up. We have a big client, probably one of the largest retailers in the world. They call us, they say, we want to work with your company. We go, okay. We want to install hardware in our stores, Wi-Fi beacons and stuff like that. And they tell us what their strategy is, and I go, don't do it. I'm telling you right now, don't. I've been doing this for at this time, 7.5 years. You're gonna spend 6 months of your life, and then I'll tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna call me and go, I need you guys to come in and fix this. That's exactly what happened. 7 months later, they called me and said, I got 30 days to show the CEO of the company, and it's because of things like that. The user experience and the fact you're relying on hardware that doesn't work reliably, it's horrible. So we try to avoid those footholds, and we work with companies that actually have technology that works. And so in this retailer, and I can't say who they are, in 30 days we rolled out what we told them 7 months ago we would do for them. It worked, the CEO saw it, he said, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And now we're in contract negotiations, and we're gonna be rolling out with them. So there's a lot of clowns out there, that's my term for them, a lot of people that make a lot of false promises.
Have you thought about talking to IBM about Watson?
Yeah, actually, we're a Watson partner. So all these commercials you're seeing about Watson right now, how they're applying it to the insurance industry and blah, blah, blah. Watson came to us and they said, we want to write we want a commercial about using Watson inside retail. And they go, would you help us do that? And I go, well, what do I get out of it? And they're like, well, nothing. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it.
I know they're out trying to.
Right. And I'm like, okay, you pay me, I'll help apply Watson in retail. They didn't want to pay me. So.
All right, we gotta wrap it up, but that'll be out there afterwards.
Oh yeah, we do have to wrap it up. Sorry, we're done. Thank you.
But yes, so thanks so much for coming in at the back.